Tomorrow, rain and snow, possibly mixed with freezing rain. Tuesday, rain and snow showers with a high near 38 degrees. And currently outside the studios of KOMO News in downtown Seattle, we have 32 degrees with overcast skies.
Stay connected, stay informed. Seattle's only 24-hour news station, KOMO News 1000, FM 97.7.
Good morning. KOMO News time is 4:45. I'm Eric Heinz in the KOMO 24/7 News Center. Here's some of our top headlines. Here's KOMO's managing editor Frank Lindsay.
I just wanted to give some more information on that crash Curtis mentioned a moment ago in the Olympia area, southbound 5 and Highway 101. This is, again, a semi-truck into a barrier crash here. The semi was hauling live chickens. So in addition to the crash and the cleanup there, crews are having to deal with chickens running around on I-5. So at last check, we have 3 southbound lanes of I-5 closed and 2 northbound lanes closed. KOMO's Carly Johns is on her way to the scene, also working to get some more information from the State Patrol. Live at the update desk, Frank Lindsay, KOMO News.
KOMO News time is now 4:46. This next round of fresh snow could hit western Washington hard, and some people are heading back to grocery stores and hardware stores to stock up again. KOMO's Suzanne Fawn checked out the situation in Ballard.
We've seen the pictures. Store shelves wiped clean of bread and milk and meat right before Friday's big snowstorm.
It was kind of crazy. You started rushing.
Today, many staples are back in stock, but there's still a shortage of some things.
There's a shortage of that, like all over.
Carrie Cosden didn't find it at Fred Meyer or anywhere she looked today.
They don't have any salt. That's the big thing. There's a shortage of salt. I cannot get that salt that you spread on the roads anywhere. So it's not here, it's not at Stone Hardware, it's not at Home Depot, nothing. So it's pretty bad.
Cosden owns 4 rental properties.
I want to get the salt down so my tenants don't slip and fall and hurt themselves on the stairs and stuff like that.
We checked at QC in Ballard. They got lots of calls from de-icer. They're still out.
Then the customer started just wiping shelves for like kosher salts, any kind of salt we had. I saw a customer yesterday, his cart was full of salt.
Salt may be in serious demand, but most other items are back on the shelves.
We have extra bread. They had a good stock of it, and so we got some extra. The only thing that we didn't find was bulk rice. I was grateful for the amount of stuff that there was today.
Suzanne Fawn, KOMO News.
KOMO News time is 4:48. The snow in Seattle had many people prepping and others trying to get work done, but some people simply had a day off. KOMO's Patrick Quinn has that part of the story. On the hills of Seattle, we saw a mix of screaming and screaming, sweating,
Stadium Fest, but I am going crazy.
and shoveling. Young and old embracing the thrills and spills of a Saturday snow day.
The kids are out having fun on the hills and stuff.
But while many were taking advantage of the accumulation, Bill Lemon was working. Hello. Figure out the passage here for you. The mail carriers were out in the Maple Leaf neighborhood as well.
It's crazy. This is my 35th of winter, and I've never seen so much in one day. And off the hook.
We followed along as he weaved through the slushy back roads, many almost undrivable.
There's a hill up there, so I'm gonna back out around, splatter going this way.
By afternoon, trees were feeling the weight of the snow.
These are Okinawa cherries.
This woman shook the snow off to prevent limbs from snapping, like what happened across town on Admiral Way. This tree fell on the busy hill. Cars were forced into oncoming traffic to get around. A day for Seattleites to recognize the downside and upside to snow, with parents now wondering how long it'll last.
I think the only thing to worry about now would be any ice coming. So, as long as the snow handles, people will be okay driving.
So I was able to talk with a few parents, and they're worried what's going to happen when the nostalgia of the snow wears off. And we could see this lingering snow impact the work week with school cancellations. In West Seattle, Patrick Quinn, KOMO News. And speaking of those cancellations and early closures, we do have a list of Western Washington public school districts that have already contacted us, and you can get the latest listing on our website, komonews.com. Simply just click on the weather tab. KOMO News time is now 4:49. Forecasters are keeping a watchful eye on the storm headed back our way today. KOMOnews.com meteorologist Scott Sistix says right now the cutoff line for this storm appears to be Tacoma.
It's very challenging of which side of the storm you can end up on. If you're on the north side, it could be just a big another snowstorm. If you're on the south side, it could be a real messy snow to freezing rain to rain slush mix. And then right in the middle, it might just be snow to freezing rain.
And the storm is likely to start in the south and hit the Seattle area by 3 o'clock this afternoon. KOMO News time is 4:50. Time for the KOMO Propel Insurance Money Update. Stocks were mixed at the
Congress have proposed legislation to ensure that air traffic controllers and airline safety inspectors continue to get paid during any government shutdown. And get ready to pay more for the essentials like toilet paper, cat litter, and diapers. Consumer goods companies like Procter & Gamble, Colgate-Palmolive, and Clorox all say they have to raise prices in response to higher costs for raw materials and shipping. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
We check your money at 20 and 50 minutes past the hour on Como News. A check on traffic in 3 minutes. Como News time is 4:51.
There's something to be said for a vintage piece. At the downtown Puyallup Antique District, discover pieces from antique trade.
Begins to phase out at $400,000 for joint filers. Number 2, not filing a return. Some Americans are not required to file a federal tax return because they don't earn enough in income, but file regardless, experts say, because you may be eligible to claim a refundable credit, or you may have a refund owed to you. And the third mistake, picking the wrong filing status. Attention single parents, you may want to choose the head of household filing status rather than single status. Head of household comes with a larger standard deduction and often a lower tax rate. 8 minutes now in front of the hour on This Morning. Jennifer Kashenka is back with more of America's First News.
According to Casey Musgraves won Album of the Year at CBS's Grammy Awards, the music industry's most prestigious prize for her critically acclaimed Golden Hour.
Life is pretty tumultuous right now for all of us. I feel like it can feel that way, and I feel like because of that, art is really thriving.
Dua Lipa, a singer-songwriter with hits like New Rules, who has a higher profile in the UK than the US, was named Best New Artist. Childish Gambino's This Is America won Record and Song of the Year, the first time in Grammy history a hip-hop song has won either award. Negotiations over a bipartisan deal for border security funding have stalled, raising the possibility of another government shutdown at the end of this week. The snag in talks heighten prospects that President Trump will declare a national emergency and seek to divert funds into constructing a wall along the Mexican border. Mick Mulvaney, Trump's interim chief of staff, told NBC the possibility of a second lapse in government operations can't be ruled out.
There would be some things that simply we couldn't agree to. So the government shutdown is technically still on the table. We do not want it to come to that, but that option is still open to the president and will remain so.
The presidential emergency declaration to build the border wall is opposed by lawmakers from both parties and is sure to draw lawsuits. The Pentagon's top official made an unannounced visit to Afghanistan today to meet with U.S. commanders and Afghan leaders amid a push for peace with the Taliban. Pat Shanahan, the acting Secretary of Defense, says he has no orders to reduce the U.S. troop presence, but officials say that's at the top of the Taliban's list of demands in exploratory peace negotiations. Lindsey Vonn has become the first female skier to win medals at 6 different world championships. The American won the bronze medal in the downhill at the World Championships in Sweden yesterday, the final race of her career.
I definitely had hoped to come away with a medal here, and that was my thinking. I wanted another opportunity to try to get back on the podium one more time.
Vonn did it with sore knees, a bruised rib, and a black eye. She'll undergo knee surgery for the 7th time when she returns to the U.S.
Unbelievable. So I just want to get this right. She's a downhill skier with sore knees, so it hurts to crouch. She's got a bruised rib, so it's hard to breathe, and a black eye, so her eyes are swollen and it's difficult to see.
And I heard more of that interview, or her comments. She had a neck as well.
Oh my goodness. She is amazing. Next Gen, 5 minutes now in front of the hour. Capital One is building a better bank, one that feels and acts nothing like a typical bank. It's why they're reimagining banking and building something completely different. They offer accounts with no fees or minimums. They also offer one of the best savings rates in America, and you can open a Capital One account from anywhere in 5 minutes. Capital One, this is banking reimagined. Open an account today and experience banking reimagined for yourself. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Capital One, N.A.
No one compliments you when their paycheck is correct, but make one mistake, and you risk alienating your entire workforce. With Kronos, we make sure your payroll is done right the first time, from punch to paycheck. Embedded checklists, simplified workflows, a single single source of truth. HR, payroll, talent, and timekeeping in one unified system, all with a proven implementation approach and simplified, transparent pricing. Learn more at Kronos.com/payroll. Kronos, workforce innovation that works.
Come to Shane for a Valentine's Day gift that will make her smile. Hi, I'm Tom Shane.
And I'm Christy. Every day, I help customers at our store find romantic gifts, like our new and exclusive heart-shaped necklaces, earrings, bracelets, and rings, created by our design team.
One of my favorites is our delicate heart-shaped necklace, accented with diamonds on a fine Italian chain. Choose either 14-karat white, yellow, or gold for $200.
Can be effective. And don't put a lot of stock in ice melts that claim to be environmentally friendly.
Ice melts with the coating on them may claim to be less damaging, but practically speaking, they're not. Once the coating wears off, you're just left with salt anyway.
Be equally skeptical of pet-friendly claims.
They can be more expensive and they might still irritate your pet's paws.
Consumer Reports says a better plan is to set up a rinse tray at your entrance. That way you can wash any salt from your pet's paws after taking a walk.
That's Como's Connie Thompson reporting. For more on this story and others by Connie, go to the consumer section of ComoNews.com. Como News Time is now 4:57, and it's time for the Como Consumer Tip of the Day, brought to you by Paratex Pest Control, solving pest problems around here for more than 100 years. Paratex affordable, effective pest control. Now, here's Como's Herb Weisbaum.
Consumer Reports has just pulled all Dyson stick vacuums from its recommended list because of reliability problems. A survey of members shows Dyson stick vacs break at a higher rate than any other brand the magazine tested. Consumer Reports estimates that close to half of Dyson stick vacuums will break or stop working as they should within 5 years. By comparison, about a quarter of stick vacuums from Shark, the most reliable brand in this category, break down within 5 years. Dyson responded by saying its rigorous testing, owner surveys, and years of performance differ from the reliability predictions made by Consumer Reports. Quote, "We will never stop learning and working to do right by our owners," the company said. Now, Consumer Reports makes it clear that Dyson stick vacs are not bad products. In fact, in 2016, Consumer Reports said the Dyson V8 Absolute was the best stick vacuum it ever tested. And despite its reliability issues, Dyson still earned CR's top rating for owner satisfaction. Excellent. More about this in the consumer section of ComoNews.com. Herb Weisbaum, Como News.
ABC News is coming up at 5 o'clock. Como News Time is 4:58.
The Northwest Auto Show and another happy customer.
Lined the bridge into town Saturday to welcome Bo Schlitting back from Afghanistan with a police escort from Logan Airport. Used to bring the soldier home. Bo's mother, Holly Schlitting, called it very overwhelming and very surprising because it's cold and people are very busy. She says her son jumped to serve in the U.S. Army as soon as he could, spending the last 9 months in Afghanistan. She says it has not been easy for the family, counting the days until he came back. Holding American flags and signs of support, the community often surprises those who come home after serving. That'll do it for this hour. For Jennifer Kashenka, I'm Gordon Deal. Thanks for listening to This Morning, America's First News.
Dental issue. All the experts are under one roof at Dental Specialties Northwest. Hey, it's John Curley, and I'm here with my two favorite dentists, Dr. Sweeney and Dr. Spohr.
What we really have together is that we have wisdom that the two of us separately don't have. We put us together in a collaborative arrangement. It's good.
And that is especially true when it comes to complex.
Okay, this right here is Highway 3, just before the Mason Lake Road turn, and I'm planning on taking Mason Lake Road. So I'll be turning up here fairly soon, less than probably a quarter of a mile. Or about that.
Is at the White House. Congress has until the end of the day Friday to pass legislation that funds the government. And this morning, negotiations are stalled. Lawmakers at the center of this debate had hoped to roll out today a plan on border security. The wait is sticking point. Democrats are demanding a limit to the number of beds federal detention centers, a way to force the Trump administration to narrow its focus on who is detained. ABC's Jim Ryan is in El Paso, and he says a potential 2020 presidential candidate will also be speaking in Texas.
He was unable to defeat Republican Ted Cruz in November's Senate election, but Democrat Beto O'Rourke has not ruled out a run for the White House. He's the headliner at what's being billed as a March for Truth to coincide with the rally where President Trump will talk up the idea of a wall along the southern border.
Virginia's Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax still facing allegations of sexual assault from 2 women. But ABC Chief National Correspondent Tom Young says the threat of impeachment is now being taken off.
The delegate who had called for impeachment, he was going to introduce articles of impeachment this morning. He's gone back and now announced that after hearing feedback from his colleagues, he's not going to do that. He's reversed course.
No teachers in Denver's public schools today. They're set to strike after contract talks broke down. School Superintendent Susanna Cordova.
To hear the feedback and to be in a position where, rather than sticking with it and figuring it out, I'm incredibly disappointed that they walked away.
A new report in Texas finds nearly 400 church leaders and workers in the Southern Baptist Church have been accused of sexual misconduct over the last 20 years. That according to the Houston Chronicle and San Antonio Express News. Victims accuse church leaders of mishandling their complaints. You're listening to ABC News.
Stay connected, stay informed. Como News. It's 5:02 as we get started on this Monday morning. More snow flurries in the Puget Sound area between about Shoreline and Olympia this morning. It's 30 degrees in Seattle.
With Ray Kerschel, I'm Matt Defector. Here are the top stories from the Como 24/7 News Center.
We're starting off with snow and slush, and now chickens. They're all messing up the morning commute already.
Como's Carly Johnson has the latest live on a crash in Olympia on I-5.
Yeah, and I'm headed there now. I'll be able by the bottom of the hour to feed you a picture, seeing it myself. But here's what we understand. It was a truck, yes, hauling chickens, headed north up I-5 near the Highway 101 interchange, struck the Jersey barrier, and we've got live chickens apparently all over the freeway with lanes blocked in both directions of I-5, again near 101. I'll tell you though, driving south from Federal Way all the way down to this area, the snow is very heavy and road conditions are not good. In fact, 99 from Federal Way down through Fife and into Tacoma was just a compact snow. They've yet to treat the roads. They have treated some of I-5, but everybody's just driving in the right 2 lanes. Pretty deep in snow, and traffic is moving pretty slowly in both directions. Another probably 3 inches of snow had piled up on my news card this morning, just from last night, or yesterday afternoon, I should say, when it had started snowing. Counted 16 inches of snow at my house in Federal Way since last Monday, and yeah, it does feel like Groundhog Day. Reporting live, Carly Johnson, Como News.
Getting around downtown Seattle could be a challenge this morning, depending on which route you take.
Como's Brian Calvert joins us live from SoDo.
The ride on the West Seattle Bridge is okay, considering what's happened. It's the getting to the bridge that remains the challenge for some.
We pulled over to try to install some snow chains, which we don't know how to do, and as it turns out, it's not super easy to do in the snow.
Main routes like Del Ridge had yet to be cleared when I drove in earlier this morning. In this hour here in SoDo, there's still plenty of slush on main veins like 1st and 4th Avenue. And if you decide driving yourself downtown isn't viable, keep in mind bus service is limited to emergency snow routes only. You may want to check the website or app before you count on a bus today. Live in South Seattle, Brian Calvert, Como News.
It's 5:04. Here's what's coming up after we check traffic.
I'm Corwin Hake, live in Kirkland, where in just the space of an hour, we've gone from clear, starry skies to more snowfall. An update coming up.
Here we go again. Let's check your drive. Our Como AAA traffic. We do that every 10 minutes for you. Kiara Jordan, good morning.
Good morning, Amanda and Greg. So it's going to be interesting to see how many people stay home today and what that does with our commutes. Of course, we have snow just about everywhere right now. It's kind of surprising, and you get on I-5 and you go, man, it looks like nothing's been done here. So we're going to need to watch our speeds, take those wrong turns and hills with extreme caution, and of course the neighborhoods are worse. Now, with this crash in Olympia, this is where our semi hit the middle barrier, both directions of I-5 near Pacific, down to 2 lanes, so that is causing a bit of a slowdown in both directions there. Also in Everett, we're working with a stalled truck southbound I-5 near 41st. That's blocking the right lane. No backup there, but please travel carefully around it. The rest up 514.
Traffic sponsored by Muckleshoot Casino. Poker at the Muckleshoot Casino is hands down the best in the Pacific Northwest. Featuring the largest non-smoking room, tableside food service, and bar, Muckleshoot Casino, the biggest and best in the Northwest.
Okay, the weather as you head into the new week. Here's Seth Wayne of the Como Forecast Team.
We're still dealing with some of that light snow falling across western Washington this morning. And it's a complicated next system coming our way because we've got a pretty strong warm front, and that's going to turn the snow on over to rain and make for a slushy mess. And it's all about timing because it's going to take a while for that transition to take place. It will come later on, highs in the mid-30s, but for our north end, we're talking Snohomish County all the way to Whatcom County. You won't even switch over to any of that rain. It's pretty much going to be all snow as winter storm warnings continue for you until late tonight. In the meantime, tomorrow we're going for a rain-snow mix in many spots, and then we're forecasting a bit of a break for the middle and end of the week. I'm Seth Wayne at the Como Weather Center.
To the north in Arlington, just mostly cloudy this morning. It's 23, but as we mentioned, snow to the south. St. Olympia snowing and right at the freezing mark. Here in downtown Seattle, we're starting to see a few flurries again. It's 30.
Let's take you to another one of the areas this morning that's been getting snow, the Kirkland Totem Lake area, and that's where we find Como's Corwin Hake.
Well, good morning, Greg and Amanda. I started my morning on Finn Hill in the Bothell-Kirkland area, and for a while it was touch and go whether I'd make it off the hill at all. Some pretty steep routes going up and down that hill. I did finally make it to Juanita Drive. That's been plowed and sanded, and from there to 405 in the Totem Lake area. All the arch areas I've checked out have been plowed and sanded. I'm taking it nice and easy anyway. Doug Young is with the state DOT. He's feeling pretty positive about the road treatments his crews have accomplished overnight.
Well, we're doing really good actually with the resources that we have and the product that we have. We're able to keep up for the most part and get the roads cleared from all the hazards and make everything, somewhat back to normal.
This is not to suggest you will encounter a normal commute if you venture out today. It is 27 degrees in Portland and now snowing lightly. Reporting live, Corwin Hake, Como News.
Well, many people are headed back to grocery stores and hardware stores to stock up on food and supplies again. More from Como's Suzanne Vaughn.
We've seen the pictures. Store shelves wiped clean of bread and milk and meat right before Friday's big snowstorm.
It was kind of crazy. It started rushing the store.
Today, many staples are back in stock, but there's still a shortage of some things.
There's a shortage of that, like all over.
Carrie Cosden didn't find it at Fred Meyer.
Okay, this is Brockdale Road at the moment. I just got on it from McEwen Prairie Road. And shortly it'll turn into McCreevy Road. Because Brockdale goes to the left up here and out to Highway 101 north.
High schools are closed, and same thing with Chimicum schools.
Also closed today, Clover Park, Coopville, Darrington, Derringer, Eatonville, Edmonds, Elma, Enumclaw, Eveline, Everett Public Schools, Federal Way, Ferndale, Fife, Franklin Pierce.
As far as driving, I'm doing fine. It's nice to not have much traffic out. The only place I really slipped a little bit so far was just right after turning onto Mason Lake Road, starting up the hill there at first. So I just backed off the gas a little bit. And the yellow sign up here is announcing the Brockdale turn to the left and McCreevy Road straight ahead. So I'm going straight ahead to get out to Union.
Snohomish, Snohomish Valley, South Kitsap, closed. Southside, Stanwood, Stillicum, Salton, Sumner, Bonnie Lake, Tacoma, Tenino, Tukwila, Tumwater, University Place, UW Mossel, UW Seattle, UW Tacoma, Vashon Island, White River, and Winlock all closed.
And Renton is also closed in case we missed that one. And if you didn't hear your school on the list, the odds are that it started 2 hours late this morning. That's the case in Concrete,
Vernon, Cedro Woolley, and Wishkah Valley all 2 hours late.
Just a reminder, you can always find that information on our website up to date at comonews.com.
It's 5:11. Time for a Como Sports Update. Tom Butler's at the Harley Exterior Sports Desk.
Well, the words baseball fans love to hear, especially in weather like this. Pitchers and catchers report to spring training nets today when it comes to the Mariners in Peoria, opening their Cactus League schedule 10 days from now, February 21st, as they start preparing for a season series in Japan. Husky men's basketball.
Web Hill Road is on the left right now, just passing it.
Just a precaution, as there's no way to tell if the bat had rabies or not.
Pierce County detectives are investigating an officer-involved shooting overnight Saturday. 2 men, ages 47 and 23, were shot while on an off-road vehicle in Roy. Here's Pierce County Detective Ed Troyer.
What we understand is that it was driving the snow recklessly, and a Roy police officer attempted to stop it when the off-road vehicle fled, and when it disappeared out of sight, he terminated pursuit, but then the vehicle came back towards his direction, tried to block the road, and that's when shots were fired.
The officer involved in the shooting has been placed on paid administrative leave during the investigation. The 2 men did not suffer life-threatening injuries.
2 state troopers were hurt in the Spokane Valley when they were responding to a call on I-90. The state patrol says one of the officers had to be rushed to the hospital, but is expected to survive. The troopers were hurt when they were hit by a car while working an accident.
Police in Auburn say a deadly shooting last night is being classified as a homicide. Someone called in to report they had found a body in a vehicle in the 5500 block of Kersey Way Southeast just after 8 p.m. Police say it appears the man died from a gunshot wound.
Britain's Prince Philip is giving up his driver's license. Buckingham Palace announced over the weekend the 97-year-old Duke voluntarily gave up his license. NBC royal expert Camilla Tominey suspects Queen Elizabeth may have pushed him to make that move.
For sure, as a loving wife, she has said to her husband, look, is this really necessary anymore? You've had a bad smash. Let's not tempt fate.
Prince Philip was involved in a car crash last month in England when his Land Rover overturned. He wasn't hurt, but a passenger in the other car broke her wrist. The Duke apologized to the woman and claimed the sun was shining low over the main road, which he said made it difficult to see.
Como News Time 5:14. Time for a AAA traffic update. Let's check in with Kiara, see if we have any bad smashes out there this morning.
Yeah, I like that phrase. I'm going to have to use that sometimes. We are working with a serious crash right now in Olympia. We had a semi that crashed into the barrier, that middle barrier on I-5 near Pacific, and we have just 2 lanes that are getting through in both directions. Plus, this semi was hauling live chickens, and we do have chickens that are loose in the area. So please travel with extra caution. You're going to be finding some slowdowns right around that immediate area. We're also working with a stall in Everett South on I-5 near 41st. That's taking up the right lane. Traffic not backed up there. Just make sure, again, that you're traveling with extra caution. South on I-5 just seeing a little bit of slowing right now at the Boeing Freeway. Also a little bit of light slowing on northbound 167 as you're traveling through Sumner. But we have a lot of these snowy roads again this morning, so just make sure that you go slowly and cautiously. A lot of it's compact snow on the roads, which isn't too bad to drive on as long as you're taking it easy. Our next Como traffic at 524.
Well, we're going to see some snow this morning, changing to a mix of rain and snow throughout the day, maybe mixed with some freezing rain and sleet, too. So a very wintry mix today, high near 35. Overnight, more rain and snow, possibly mixed with freezing rain. For tomorrow, rain and snow showers near 38. We're not going to warm up much this week. 38 again on Wednesday, near 40 on Thursday. By Thursday, partly sunny with a few rain and snow showers.
Continuing to see snow flurries from about the shoreline area south all the way to Olympia, then further south into southwest Washington, down toward the Longview area. Rain
raining in Portland this morning. And right now in downtown Seattle, snow flurries and 30 degrees.
Stay connected, stay informed. Seattle's only 24-hour news station, Como News.
5:16, it's the Como Morning News for your Monday. Frank Lindsay's at the editor's desk, along with Greg Herschel. I'm Matt the Factor.
A Virginia state lawmaker is now suggesting he will not move forward today with plans to introduce an impeachment bill seeking the ouster of Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax. Democratic Delegate Patrick Hope said he wanted to introduce the impeachment articles against Fairfax after two women recently accused the Democrat of sexual assault back in the early part of the 2000s. Fairfax has vehemently denied the claims and called for authorities, including the FBI, to investigate.
Today, President Trump will travel to El Paso and push for a border wall during his first campaign-style rally of the year. Georgia Republican Representative Tom Graves says Trump has a right to have contingency plans in place if Congress doesn't strike a deal to protect the border.
He's given Congress time to do their work, and the Speaker had said just open the government